Hello everyone, welcome to Quack&Co. My name is Brian and this is a Quack&Co takeover where every video is 10 minutes or less. As I said, my name is Brian from Game Brigade. You'll find a link in the description down below, but I am taking over this channel for the next month.
Brian, I'm pretty sure we talked about it. It was just a week, right? We just said a week.
Yeah.
Just a week, buddy.
Just a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like we get a week of Game Brigade content, but that's okay. We're going to have some fun. Today is Just the Tip Tuesday, where we are just the tip. And I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is creating a curated collection. Because I think having a curated collection is special. It brings joy to me, and it might bring joy to you if this is something you are new with. So your created collection means a collection that you have picked out the best titles, because good isn't good enough. We only want great games. In my collection, I have broken it down in multiple different categories. I try to have as little overlap as I can, but there's some exceptions for that, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But here we're going to be talking about some tips that I use to create my collection. The first thing I want to talk about is rating your games. Not everyone does this, and you can rate your games in any way possible. But having a system of rating on a specific title will help you later when you're starting to decide what games you can let go, what games are not as higher on your tier list, whatever it may be. I currently use a 5-point rating system on my games, but that could be something completely different for you. It might be, do I like this game more than that game? Is it 5 tomatoes or 3 bananas? Whatever it might be, having some sort of system to kind of tier list your games will help you greatly later on. What is a tier list? Well, generally a tier list is a way where you can categorize your games from great to excellent, good, average, and poor. Whatever it may be, but it's a scale that you can place your games. And I recommend something like this because it allows you to then look at your games objectively if there's some sort of dispute or something in terms of you're having a mental fight with yourself in terms of a game. It allows you to look at it objectively and say, okay, yeah, I think I'm not going to play that game as much because this one is just a better game. So once you do that, you want to set your games up into categories as well. Is it a worker placement game? Is it a deck building game? And there is going to be overlap on this one because some games obviously share mechanics with other ones. And this is, again, your personal preference. Where do you place this game in terms of your design? When you're playing this game, whatever it may be, does it fill a worker placement game? Does it fill a deck building game? Is it an area control game? Whatever it may be, that way you can kind of look at it and kind of see where all your collection is. One, this is helpful because it tells you kind of where your tastes align. So when you're looking at other games you might add, you can see where you have too many of a title, maybe too little of a title, or maybe what type of titles you enjoy playing in the first place. But once you have these two things, these two, I want to say basic things, once you have them aligned, it allows you to then categorize these games and say, okay, which games am I able to let go? Which games am I never going to let go? And what games are just mainstays? What are the excellent titles that I'm never going to sell? I have several of those. In fact, I have several games in my collection that I've never played that I'll never sell because those are my grail games. Those are the games that are set aside because I like to look at them. They're pretty, they're shiny, and they're my special products. And it's okay to have those. I think it's fun to have those because they create a story and something you can share with people when they come and look at your collection. But once you have your games organized, once you have them in a certain design or shape, whatever, then we can start deciding how are we going to let go of these products? How are we going to release the stress? Because I will tell you, once you start selling products, once you start selling your games, it is a huge stress relief, at least for me. I use several different methods to sell my games. I donate sometimes to schools, libraries, or to just the local thrift store, Sell them online. If a game is worth something, if I know it has a monetary value, I'll sell it online. I use eBay, although I don't like the board game tax that eBay charges, 12.5%, a little too high for me. I use Facebook groups. Facebook Marketplace has been a great way for me to sell locally, put a game on there. Yes, I'm gonna have to place it at an aggressive price to be able to get to sell, but it usually does sell. But you also have Facebook groups that are specifically for board game selling. You can post your game on there, have some descriptions about how the game's contents. Are you missing any pieces? Is it in a good quality condition? Anything that might help. And you're going to find other board game enthusiasts that might be looking for that game specifically. It's a great way to help people fill out their collections and to relieve that stress from you and clear up some space. The next thing I do is I'll even donate those games to my friends if there's a game that they might like, just helping them fulfill their collection and alleviating space on mine. The reality is when you're a collector or a gamer in this hobby, it's very easy to have a collection that's almost bursting at the seams. So being able to curate your collection down, finding games that fulfill a specific title or a specific need within your space is a huge help. So these are the ways that I curate my collection. I look for titles that have little overlap. I try to find titles that are the best in their business. What is the best game that fulfills that need? And I only want to have a few of those titles. If I have too many titles that are within the same lane, I feel like I'm not going to play all of them all the time. So those are ways that I curate my collection. My name is Brian from Game Brigade. This is Quack&Co, where every video is 10 minutes or less. I'm pretty sure I made that mark this time. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a subscription or a comment down below. Let us know if you guys liked this video. I will talk to you very soon.